Welcome to Culture on Tap. We are a podcast that bridges a cultural gap, one conversation at a time. Today we have myself, Dale Young, Range Armitar. That's the first time I got. See, I almost couldn't say your name because I just said Range Armitar. I didn't add Ranger Joseph, nothing. It's just plain Jane.
Wow.
Range Armitar.
I almost feel demoted.
Well, sometimes that's what you get. And then on our other couch, we have my son, Ethan Young, and my daughter, Charlie Young. And we're glad they're here with us today. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and share with anywhere to people that are listening or watching our podcast. Make sure to hit the bell for more notifications. When we have new content, you can tap in with us. And so that you can be a resource, we can be a resource of whether to challenge you or encourage you. So again, we're still pushing. We'd love for everybody to find some friends to join our podcast. They don't have to actually listen to it. Just like and subscribe.
Subscribe.
Yeah. We'd love for you to listen to it and join in on what
we think it's pretty good.
Yeah. Clearly, because we keep doing it.
We keep.
And so, yes, join in with us. So let's jump right in. And if you're wondering, this is another episode we're doing where Xavier's not with us. There's going to be some episodes coming up where it'll be just Xavier and Range and his wife Lauren's going to be on. We're just in a season right now, guys, if we're just honest, where we're just all super busy.
Yes.
We haven't really talked about it, but me and Xavier's been gone a lot of weekends. Doing more youth conferences weekends. And so, for example, we're recording tonight. I'll be at Youth Reach on Tuesday, and then Wednesday through Saturday, I'll be doing youth stuff at different churches and different conferences, which is really cool. And some of that's happened because of this podcast. And then we'll come home and preach on Sunday, and then Sunday afternoon we'll record another episode.
Do it again.
So it's a lot right now.
So if you would have been, well, not if you would have, if we wouldn't have had all of the issues that we had.
Correct.
We actually talked quite a bit about camp and things like that on the episodes that were not postable.
Yes.
Because you can't hear what's going on. We talked about if you're at camp, come up and talk to Ethan and Charlie.
Yes.
Yes.
Things like that.
Also, it's to try and guess what week we're going to camp.
Because
we'll be there all four, but what week of camp is our week of camp?
So
I don't know.
Well, and that's the thing. Some of the students that are at camp or at this conference. So M3 does camps, 4 camps in the summer, and then in the wintertime they do what they call M3 weekend, which is 4 weekend conferences. I'm going to my 4th. I've already done one in. We did Dallas, Marshall, Texas, Austin, and now we're going to Amarillo. Charlie has been at 3 of the 4, or she will have been at 3 of the 4. So a lot of you, if you were subscribing that saw us there, will have either seen or met her at the conference. Ethan didn't go to any of them with us because if he has the choice, he's going to stay home, which I can respect that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But this summer they will both be at campus teenagers one week, and they'll probably be with us the other weeks because our family will be there at camp. So feel free to come up and speak to them because we are trying to have them on some episodes and stuff like that for sure. And like they said, they've been troopers because we've made them record these episodes quite a few times.
Yes.
As we worked out sound issues, but we feel like we've got it.
Feel like we've got it under control now.
Yeah, we finally feel like we've nailed it down, so that is awesome. So let's jump right in with our fun fact with Range. So last time they were on here, they told us some things that they had taught Range. What is something new that you feel like you could teach Range that he wouldn't know on our fun facts?
Can I go first?
Sure.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to go with video games, but I'm going to go with one video game because we don't have enough time for video games in
I'm
general.
going to do Star Wars since he just started watching Star Wars.
Okay, we can do Star
No,
Wars.
I'm not making you change it.
Okay. So, he needs to learn Star Wars first by himself. Then I'll come in and help him. I'll give him the assistance. But video games. I'm going to go with one of my favorite video games ever, the Fallout video games. So first you have to understand what Fallout is in the timeline, okay, Mr. Range? So you have to listen in very closely because we're going to go over a lot of stuff. so Fallout and our timeline are the same until what? What?
And I was like, he just don't make it real long.
Oh, okay.
I was doing this behind. I'm doing this behind the camera tell you to keep it short.
Oh, you were doing it
which
like
is
this.
signals where you're not supposed to let anybody know that I'm giving you.
Sorry, I was like, I didn't know what this. I don't know if you wanted me to start being like timelines, like timelines.
No, I'm saying when you say you're gonna start giving timelines, I'm like, let's narrow it to
It's gonna be
one thing about Fallout.
okay. So, one thing. Okay, hold on.
I'm
Okay,
ready
so
if you're not.
wait, what? Oh, no, I got it. Okay, so we're gonna still go with the timeline. So we're all timeline cancels, not cancels, separates from the Fallout timeline. So Fallout and all timelines stay the same, basically, except there's aliens sometimes. But, you know, we don't really need to pay attention to that. But other than that, though, everything's the same until we get to World War II, right? As I know, World War II, if basic history stuff. World War II, Germany, we take out Germany, and then we nuke Japan, and then the war's over. Instead, that happens, but instead, China basically takes over for Germany and the Fallout timeline, and then what's it called? So then they're fighting, but not to mention also we unlock the sequence of nuclear energy and weapons a lot faster.
Oh, it just got interesting.
Yeah. Thank you. So now everything's powered by instead of oil, because the war is going on so long, we use nuclear energy to power everything: cars, refrigerators, power armor. And that's kind of what our timeline separates. Plus, there's aliens, and do you know who Lovecraft? Not Lovecraft. Do you know who Oh, I forget the guy. He was he wrote maybe is it Lovecraft? J.B. Lovecraft? I don't remember. But anyway, basically a whole bunch of monsters, but not in our comprehension. Basically, also in the timelines. So yeah.
And this is a video game.
Yeah, video game.
Okay. I've learned something new today. Thank you, Ethan.
So, my knowledge could not be more different from that. I'm going to ask you a simple question, and I just need a yes or a no.
Okay.
Do you know what an EGOT is?
An EGOT. That's
EGOT.
a thing?
Yes.
No.
I'll give you a hint. It's an acronym.
Oh, I'm terrible with that.
Terrible with those things.
Yeah. Acronyms
Okay.
are rough on me.
So an EGOT is like...
It's not like it is.
It is like the highest award that you can achieve in Hollywood. An EGOT is when you get awarded an Emmy, a Grammy,
Yep.
yes, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. No, Emmy, Golden Globe, Oscar, Tony.
Golden Globe, yeah.
EGOT.
EGOT.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 2 G's.
Can you tell me? Do you know what an Emmy is?
No. I mean, obviously it's an award
It's
for either acting or singing.
It's for like TV.
I thought it was for movies too. Is it not?
I mean, I guess so. Do you know what a
So
Tony is?
acting.
I feel like Tony is the most easy.
Like Tony Stark.
No.
no.
Because Tony Stark is not a real person. No.
Are the
All
Tonys
these
where
awards real.
is the Tonys where Will Smith slaps?
No,
No,
that was
Oscars.
Oscars.
Oh, that's the only thing I know.
Tony's is Broadway shows,
Yeah,
right?
Broadway.
Oh, okay.
Oscars is
Movies.
movies. Golden Globes is the
I don't-
Academy.
I don't know if that can be.
Like movie, TV show, all of it. The Academy.
Okay.
Academy of Arts.
Do you know? You should know this because I was just talking about. Do you know what award show happened the day we're filming this? Happened last night.
The Emmy.
Nope. I'll give you a hint. It's not on the list, and it was for music.
I don't have a clue.
The Grammys.
Grammy. It's not on the. Why is it not on the list?
Because those are all four for acting.
So yeah, because Grammy. if you're
Grammys
acting,
is
you
for
couldn't win.
music.
These other four, like
I mean, there's actors that sing
correct.
Yeah.
or singers that act.
Yes, that's why
Yeah.
they can win. The
Jack
other
Black.
Oh. Okay.
Did you
You
know
say
only
so.
8 people have achieved the
I thought it was
EGOT?
19.
Look it up.
I think it's 19.
But not a lot of people have achieved the EGOT.
I mean, 19. That's
Not it's not.
That's not a lot compared to. Think about how all the actors in in
oh,
Hollywood
like ever.
ever.
Okay.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
more, I mean,
19.
that's more than I can count on my hands.
The newest one is Viola Davis. Do you know who Viola Davis
I don't
is?
have a clue.
She's awesome.
Yeah, I don't even know how you explain.
She's a
So-
really, really great actress.
I'm trying to think of any of these that you might want to know. Audrey Hepburn? No, you're not going to know that.
Okay, Elton John,
Elton John?
I don't know who that is.
Well, then he was a singer.
Tiny
He
Dancer.
is, but he's done movies too.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in
He's been on Broadway.
the spy movie, the
But so then,
Kingsman.
did he not get a Grammy?
He's
Yeah.
gotten tons of
Whether
Grammys.
he gets a Grammy
or not, that's irrelevant to the EGOT.
Yeah, that'd be like you saying,
Yeah,
I want
mean,
to.
I think that should be a step up.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying it isn't. Maybe he's an EGOT.
He got.
Whoopi Goldberg has won it.
Whoopi Goldberg, you know who Whoopi is?
was he on the
Whoopi.
Jennifer Hudson. is
Jennifer
pretty-
Hudson.
I don't know.
Actually, Viola Davis won hers in. Oh yeah, she's the most recent because she got her Golden Globes in 23, but then it was Jennifer Hudson right before her.
Did Jack Black get
Do you know
one?
who Jennifer?
Or no?
No. Do you know who Jennifer Hudson is? She won America's
I
Got Talent,
almost
right?
said the girl on Friends, but that's not.
No,
it.
it's Jennifer Aniston.
It's close.
Jennifer
It's
Aniston.
the same first name and similar last name, so
Aniston Hudson.
Yeah,
it's pretty close.
Hudson's is also a singer.
She's a very amazing singer.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
So
Yeah,
there you go.
definitely all things
so
I did
now
not know.
no Fallout.
Fallout and EGOT.
Yeah. So there you go. So let's jump right into this episode. So today we're talking about. My daughter told me I said the ministry, and that sounds wrong. It's just in the ministry.
In ministry.
In ministry. In ministry sounds.
In ministry.
And growing up in ministry.
In ministry. Well, I don't know why the can't be in there.
Because it
I
sounds like
agree,
the ministry of
the
magic.
sounds like in the ministry.
So we want to talk about this. Like my wife's not on this episode. She's actually working, and we have done ministry for over 20 years. So their entire life we have been in some facet of ministry. And just being honest, like there's parts of it I grew up in ministry and I struggled with, and we wanted to do it different with our children. And there's other kids that are in ministry or just around ministry a lot, and we wanted to just kind of have this dialogue about it. So I'll ask questions, and then we'll let them dive right in with their answers. So first question is this: how did you feel? That's the wrong one. Okay. When was the first time you realized you were being raised differently than most because of the profession or the belief of your parents?
I mean, obviously, like, I knew that we were raised differently, but I feel like the first time where it was kind of like, dang, like we're doing this and, like, it's affecting, like, me, is probably third or fourth grade, maybe younger than that.
How so?
Just like when I want to go stay the night with friend's house on Saturday night, like you can't do that. Or if people stay the night at our house, like they have to go to church with us. So just things like that, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say basically what Troy said, where like staying the night or a friend's house. But for me, I would probably say I started realizing close to the 4th, 5th grade. I was not sharp as she was in elementary school.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically the same things as like I couldn't stay at night at friends' houses on certain days.
Well, you could.
You
You
could,
just had to
but
pick-
Oh, yeah, you
yeah,
gotta
you
pick-
had,
like,
you had
yeah.
to get up early, and you had to make
Yeah,
sure you
there was
were
a
on
bunch
time.
of rules basically to it, like you
Yeah.
had to be picked up early or stuff like that, basically.
So do you think? So I'll ask that question later. Second question: what has been the hardest part about growing up in a family where the parents are in ministry?
I personally, I know that this just in the realm of PK, like the PK community, I guess.
Yeah.
Or even just
PK means
PK means pastor's kid.
yeah.
Or even just like it doesn't have to be like a pastor, but just parents that work in the ministry. I honestly loved it for like a really long time. I mean, I still like it now. I'm sorry, what was the question? I just had a huge brain fart.
What is the hardest part
Okay,
about
so
being-
probably
growing up in it?
it's funny because I think the hardest part is also when I was younger, the thing I loved most about it is all the attention. So like if, I do something wrong, everybody's going to know about it. But if old Joe that sits in the corner does something wrong, like, nobody really cares. Like, or like, you know, you walk into church and everybody's like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, hi. You know, you gotta like, you know.
So you gotta put it on your face.
You gotta put on your
Let me
face.
ask this question. Do you feel like, and it's okay to say yes, do you feel like it was an expectation that me and your mother put on you, or do you feel like it was an expectation that everyone else put on you that like, oh, they're the pastor's kids, so they've got to do.
Yeah, I feel like it was definitely like a expectation put on me by like others.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's definitely very hard. Yeah, I think that's all I'll say right now.
Okay.
So, I want to say honestly, like now, like I don't feel like there's anything that hard about being a pastor's kid. But if you ask me, younger me, I can write y'all like a whole 5-paragraph. Well, I couldn't write back then, but I could have, because when I was a kid, I hated it because since I was a pastor's kid, I had to go like to. Sorry, my voice. Hello. Okay, my voice is good. Sorry, I swear my voice got a little bit deeper for some reason. So as I was saying,
mic check your voice.
yes. Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, all right. My voice is still there.
We're still here.
Check 1, 2. I'm good.
Vocal cords did not collapse.
Well, y'all don't do that.
No, for sure, never have.
Even if that happens, you just keep on trucking along.
Okay, my bad.
We distracted you. Sorry. Go ahead.
So as I was saying, whenever I was younger, as I said, I didn't like it. Like I thought it was hard because one thing is I'm introverted. I like to stay at home if I'm given the chance. So whenever I was younger and we had all these church events, I always had to be at them. Like no matter if it was like just a day, we had to stay after church. Or if, for example, my dad, because one church we used to go to, they did a morning service and a service after that.
Yeah.
Well, we had one church where we did a Saturday night service and then 2 Sunday services.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if my dad had to go
That takes up your whole weekend when you were a kid.
Yeah.
See, luckily, I don't see. I'm pretty sure I just slept through those because I don't remember those. Luckily, but
Well, usually I did not make y'all go with me.
I mean, I always went.
Yeah.
I was always there.
yeah, but Sundays, one thing I hate is like if my dad had to speak Sunday morning, some reason even though he knows what's gonna happen after him, like we also had to stay for after him Sunday too, so I had to stay like twice as long. I had to go to all the events. I had to do all the weekend stuff. I had to be there for everything. So as a kid, I hated it. Like, and I'm not also, but also it's like I feel like there was the answer to this question he asked my sister. I know you didn't answer me. I mean, ask me it, but I'm still gonna answer it. What?
Did you just say the answer is yes, my sister?
What? Did I say that?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, sorry. What I was saying is to answer the question he asked my sister
Oh.
about
Mom?
what? Who? That? Yeah, that's mom.
Come on in and join us, babe.
I'm not dressed. I'm just gonna sit off to the side.
Oh, wow. You're not going to join us?
Oh, wow.
We'd love to have you. This is live. Come on.
It's live.
Yeah.
Live. We're like live.
Live in the world.
Come on.
Yeah.
Live in New York
We'd
City.
love for you to join us. We just got going good.
I've been up to interrupted twice.
I know.
I'm sorry, babe. I didn't mean to.
Go ahead.
So to answer my dad's question that he asked earlier about if I feel like so
The expectation.
so I had to breathe real quick. I'm going faster than my brain can process. But expectations, I feel like, especially when I was younger, there was a bunch of expectations.
Expectations?
Expectations on me, and because I was as my sister said, I was the pastor's kid. So, yeah.
There you go. Oh, he's telling me to scoot over and you get close. Okay.
I'm good.
Killing these hand signals, y'all.
Yeah. I was doing hand signals for Ethan earlier and he was giving back to me. I was like, no, I'm telling you to just shorten it up.
I thought I was talking about timelines, so I thought he wanted me to do like a timeline thing and then be like.
Yeah. So do you feel like the expectations were put on you by us, others, or both?
Others.
Okay.
Well,
I mean, you can say
yeah.
us.
I don't think y'all really put the only expectations y'all had for me was to not act up, which I don't really know if you can say as expectations. Is more just
No, I feel like that would have stood
Either
regardless.
way.
yeah.
Whether you're the pastor's kid or not. Let's see. For some reason my phone won't turn now. So that's
You probably
always-
have it on the locked mode.
Yeah, locked.
How do I do that?
You're so pretty. I love your text was.
It's right here. Still like that. See?
Hmm.
Is it
I
sideways?
love technology.
Do y'all need my help?
No. Go ahead. You don't know the next one?
If I did, I wouldn't be waiting on you. You just locked it.
Y'all are a
Um,
whole mess.
When she does it.
Well, you made it worse.
Oh, gosh.
Sorry.
Okay, let's see if I fixed it. I can read it sideways. Okay, here we go. Next question is, what do you believe has been the best part of growing up in a family where your parents are in ministry? We're not supposed to say the ministry, just in ministry.
Yeah.
So,
Do you agree?
Yeah. The ministry sounds like we're in the ministry of magic.
That's literally what we said.
I didn't realize the word "the" had that much power behind it, but clearly.
That is a tough word.
So,
Oh.
I would say that, sorry, the Lola tongue something. I love this question. I think,
what?
I know. TikTok sounds. Go ahead.
we're there. So, I think that, just, I've gotten a lot of amazing opportunities that I wouldn't have gotten if my dad wasn't who my dad was. So yeah,
Can you elaborate on
I was
that?
gonna.
Oh, sorry.
I was literally
I thought
gonna
you
do. So I run the children's ministry for our church. I do all of it. So I have that, and obviously like that. I mean, I'm 15 years old, so that opportunity isn't just served out to just any 15-year-old. And then just like all the different like camps and conferences and people I've gotten to meet, people I've gotten to hear speak, people I've gotten to hear lead worship, places I've gotten to go, just like I went on my first mission trip at like 7. I mean, I've been to countless amounts of camps and conferences. I've heard like amazing people speak. So yeah, I've definitely gotten like a lot of amazing opportunities that not everybody gets.
For me, I would say. Sorry, so I had a burp. I'm sorry.
Get it together. Let's go.
Okay. Oh crap. Okay, I got. Okay, sorry. Okay. I would say because the question is what's the good, right?
Best part about
Best part. Okay.
The good.
All right. So for me, I would say is which is one thing my dad says a lot is he talks about how in America and our culture there's a lot of people that think they're Christians or say they're Christians and they don't actually act like it or they don't actually follow through with it. So like for me, knowing that my dad is a pastor and knowing that like because he walks in like since he's in the ministry and I see him walk through that, I know that he's actually like following what God wants and doing what he's supposed to.
Okay. Only thing I would add, and maybe you would agree or disagree with me, Michelle. I mean, we'll never know, but I think specifically Charlie said leading children's ministry. I don't know that that has as much to do with me being the pastor per se, as you just showing the drive. I just want to throw that in.
Well, I mean, I do think.
I think there's yes, there's a factor in it.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that Charlie's not your typical 15-year-old as far as her desire to lead an entire ministry by herself, or just because of her age. But if she didn't, if you weren't the pastor, it's very unlikely she would have that opportunity.
Probably.
Just as a random 15-year-old that goes to church.
Okay.
I'm not saying it couldn't, but you being a pastor definitely helps.
Yeah. So one thing that y'all kind of already talked about, answered, was, but we can kind of dive more into it. What are some expectations sometimes that are put on y'all because of who you are or who your parents are?
And I will speak on this. Because, let me just tell you, I feel like being a pastor's kid is obviously, like, great. I mean, for the majority of my life, definitely. There's been some years in there where I did not like it, but for the majority of my life, I've really loved it, and I've really seen like the beauty and just all the great things that it has to offer. But, I mean, every rose has its thorn, so just like the attention that's on you, the expectations that people hold you up to, oh, you did that? Oh my, you're the pastor's kid. Why would you do that? Or, oh my gosh, did you hear that what Dale's daughter did? Oh my gosh, did you see who Dale's daughter's hanging out with? Did you see where Dale's daughter went this weekend? Like, just like, you know, like, if I was...
Everything you do is...
Again, like,
under a lot.
if I was random Joe, like, nobody cares. So, like, you know, everybody cares. Everybody's watching. And just, I feel like, I am trying to figure out when I want to say this, but I guess I'll just say it. So, I guess, like, just also, like, people say things sometimes that I don't know if they 100% understand, like, what they're saying. Just, like, people saying, like, well, like, when they find out that I'm a ministry, they're like, well, of course you're in ministry. Like, you're Dale's daughter. Like, you're a pastor's kid. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. And just, like, things like, well, like, if I make a mistake, like, well, you're a pastor's kid. Like, you know, there's a certain level that you have to be held up to. Like, it's almost like you're not allowed to make a mistake. And if you do, it's like,
So you feel like, from what you just said, like you're either not good enough or
when I do something that's like, you know, I feel like it might, like, really good, it's like
expected.
It's like it's because
Right.
do you know who your dad is?
Right.
Like, duh.
Like, no one was shocked when professional athletes' kids are good at sports.
Yeah.
Right. Which, and I feel that. I think that's a very true statement.
Or almost like it's just expected.
Right. Because I think that what people don't know is, I'm not going to say it's never been brought up in this home, but we never tell y'all to do because of what we do.
Yeah.
If there's correction or expectations to do better, it's because that's what Christ would ask us to do. Like, because I mean, I think there's been times, whether it's in youth, specifically in youth, like there's times where you're like, oh, I didn't do my Bible study, or I don't have an answer, and
Yeah.
I don't think that we've ever afterwards been like, hey, you're our kids, like, you have to always have an answer.
Yeah.
Like, if we challenge y'all, it's not from that standpoint, it's from, this is what
Yeah.
you should do because that's what Christ has called you to do.
Yeah.
But I do agree that there's times that I think that people are like, hey, why are y'all not,
Yeah.
like y'all can't have a bad day, or
Yeah. Or like, why are you at church late? Like, you're supposed to be here setting up. Everybody else is here setting up chairs. Why aren't you here setting up chairs?
Well, and I do think that
Like-
also, like, I don't know if y'all talked about this already or if you're going to talk about it, but whenever the kids were younger, there were certain things that they had to do, like they had to go to church,
right,
but they didn't, like, have to pray. They didn't have to read their Bible. They didn't have to do things that we would want our kids to do, but, like, Jesus was not necessarily forced on them. It was obviously modeled for them and encouraged,
right.
but it wasn't a requirement. And I feel like that helped, and I mean, y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that kind of helped for whenever they did decide that they wanted to follow Jesus, like, that they knew it was their decision and that it wasn't something we were ever going to be like, make them do. Obviously, because we can't make them do it, but so even now, so like even when they were younger, they didn't have these expectations, but now that they have both said that they are believers, we do hold them to a little bit higher standard just because we want to disciple them. We want them to
Right.
be disciples, but it's still not
Something
something we're
we're
going to
do.
make them
Right.
do.
Yeah, because when we were younger, we'd ask them, like, if they want to pray, and if they said no, we'd ask them if we could pray over them, or things like that. And I think when they were younger, I think some people were shocked that they weren't like these Bible scholars, and my answer was they don't want to do that yet.
Yeah.
And Not that we never read Bible.
But even now, me and Ethan are not like Bible scholars.
No, but I would say now that y'all both are professing Christians, we do challenge y'all more to do those things.
Yeah.
Not because of who I am, but because that's
Of
the
what
commitment.
you said you wanted to do.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
commitment you made to Christ. Ethan, you didn't answer the question.
Yeah, I know I haven't. I was waiting for y'all to.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah. So reset the question. Y'all know I wasn't paying attention. I was paying attention, but I left my head. There we go.
So, what expectations sometimes are put on you because of who your parents are?
Well, to be fair, my sister said a lot of them, but I'll try to say it because I don't know exactly what she said. So, especially whenever I was younger, I felt like a lot of times people like expect me to be like this kid that never has a bad, kind of like my sister said, never has a bad day. I should always be doing something to help out. And whenever I was a kid, if you knew me as a kid, which I don't think 90% of people watching this, you would know me as a kid, but I don't. I wasn't like that. Like when I was a kid, like even though I knew, like I went to church. As I said earlier, I did not really like it as a kid because I wanted to be at home playing video games. But okay, no, the question is re in my brain. But like because of that, though, a lot of people have these like expectations of me. There's a lot of people that actually told me as a kid, like, you should be doing better than this, and like
Because you're a pastor's kid.
Yeah.
Well, and I also think when you were younger, people had expectations because you were ADHD and very hyper, that your attention wasn't great, and people expected you to, like, they saw that as disrespectful in the role you were. And there was times that, I mean, as a kid, you were disrespectful.
Oh, yeah,
and I
yeah.
would address it. But
I mean, but like he's also a kid,
Right.
Like, and I feel like also sometimes when your family isn't sorry, it just hit my head.
It's
Sorry,
fine.
you can go if you want to.
no, you talk. You're talking.
Okay, so I feel like sometimes like when your family is in that kind of like position, sometimes a lot of people think that they just have like that they can just say things to you or just give you their opinion or things like that. And I'm like, okay, like I don't need to know what every single person in this church thinks about my life. Like,
Yeah.
you don't need to come up and tell me how well I'm doing or how horrible I'm doing.
yeah,
Like,
Go ahead, Ethan. Finish what you were saying.
What was I saying?
Expectations that were put on.
Yeah. Like as I said, there's a bunch of times when I was a kid, people like they basically come up to me and tell me like you should be doing better than what you're doing. Like, as a kid, I didn't honestly care what they were saying as a kid because a lot of them I just thought were mean. But even now, I feel like a lot of times people expect me. Like I think Charlie maybe said something like this. Expect me to know like everything there is to know. Like I think my dad said like I feel like sometimes people do expect me to be like to know exactly where where a passage in the Bible is, which I don't. Like I do read my Bible now. It's just I don't like if you ask me what Romans 2:15 said, I couldn't tell you. Like I don't know if anyone could. Probably people could. Not me though.
yeah. No, that's good.
But and just to jump in real quick, I think what you said, you kind of laughed it off, but I think it's extremely powerful. Coming from a kid's, when you were younger, a kid's mindset of, somebody that to this kid is just a random person. Yes,
Yes.
you may know Dale, or Michelle or whatever, and you know that Ethan and Charlie are their kids. But to them, whenever you come up and say, or to these pastors' kids, whenever you come up to and say, hey, you should be doing better, and they don't even realize who you are, like, you just come off as mean.
Yeah.
And how is that, in what way, shape, or form is that showing any type of love or grace or, anything? I just thought that you kind of, not on purpose, but I feel like when you said that, it was really powerful.
No, and I can even remember that when I was a kid. That luckily for us, our kids have not pushed back. When I was a kid, I hated it, and I was just determined, like, well, if you don't think I'm good enough to be a pastor's kid, I'm going to show you how not good I can be.
yeah.
There was other dynamics involved in that as well, but yeah. So the next question. So Ethan's already verbalized he hates this question of if you could go back and talk to younger you.
This one I like. This one I like just because
Okay. Well,
I can pick what I like and don't like.
you're right. You can. Okay. Then I'll ask it. If you could go back in time, is there something you would say to younger you that you have learned through being in a home that's in ministry?
So I would say I'm going first this time, so you know.
Oh wow.
That way you can spend
I
your
like
5
it.
years talking
Okay.
after I'm done.
Okay. Wow.
Love you.
A lot of hostility from this side of the couch.
But so one thing I said earlier, which I would guess most people would remember because it wasn't that long ago, I don't think. Was whenever younger, whenever I would I just as I said.
Breathe. We're gonna let you
Okay, we're good. We're good. So one thing I said was whenever I was younger is My dad hates when I do this, by the way.
You had to go to everything.
what?
You had to go to everything.
Yes, I had to go. Thank you. I had to go to anything, and I hated it. Which there's still sometimes I'm made to go to things I don't like it, but it is what it is. I don't like it. I'll still go. But whenever I was younger, though, even though I went to all these things, like I honestly wasn't paying attention or wasn't doing what I should have been doing. And because of that, I would, if I could go back in time and tell myself something, was to take advantage of it. Because now I kind of regret it because I had all these opportunities where I could have been paying attention and learning, but instead I decided to goof off or just do something else.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Yep.
What would you
If
tell
What would you
younger
your
self?
younger
What would
you?
you tell younger self if you could go back in time about something you would, just anything?
In ministry.
Probably that like the bad times, like the hard times are gonna be extremely hard, but then like the good times are gonna be amazing. And like even though it may not look like it from like where like little Charlie is standing right now, like things are gonna get better. Like I'm gonna, I don't know how to say this. I'm gonna
Be okay.
grow. Be okay. That's a good one. I'm gonna be okay. Yeah.
So here's a bonus question, just because we haven't even gone down this road. Do you feel like the lows in watching your parents in ministry, where whether it's getting hurt, things that have happened, whatever, have made it hard for you at times to understand why we continue doing what we're doing, or even just want to follow Jesus?
For me, I would say no. For some reason, whenever I saw y'all hurt, I would find someone to be mad at. Even for some reason, it would be y'all, and I would find if y'all.
But that's a valid point, though. Like you say no, but you just admitted, which was true. I remember those days. Like when it would go bad, you would be mad at us. So how does it not a no?
So because your question was made us wonder why you followed y'all in the ministry, or made it hard for us to wonder why we should do it.
Or just
Be a Christian.
Be a
Be a
Christian.
believer.
Yeah, I know a question any of that. I was just mad because instead of like thinking like, because again I didn't think about that. I just would get mad, so I would just find something to be mad at for a lot of times.
So you always just blame people, not
Yeah.
necessarily God.
right.
Yeah, that was my thing. I would blame people. I don't do that much anymore.
No, you should blame people over God. God didn't do it.
Well, I don't blame people. I don't blame. I don't push.
Blame people that don't need to be blamed.
Yeah, I don't blame people that don't need to be blamed. That's what I meant.
I would say yes. I definitely like get. I'm very defensive. So like if you hurt somebody I love, I'm ready to like gouge your eyes out.
In the name of Jesus.
In the name of
All the
Jesus,
Jesus
amen. So I definitely and I feel like I definitely think about it a lot in like present times, just because I am in ministry, and so I'm like, man, well, like what if I go through something that like I get hurt, like am I still gonna be able to like do this, like it like am I like ready for that?
You're not.
Nope.
No, I don't, and like I don't think like you can
I
ever
mean,
be
nobody
ready for
could.
that.
No, that's what I'm saying. No,
Yeah,
you
like
never
there's
are.
nothing you can do to like prepare yourself for that. But like, so I definitely feel like it was hard. It was definitely hard when like we would go through those things, but I feel like it's even hard now because now like I'm in ministry, and so like now these things that happen to y'all could happen to me, and so I'm just kind of like, ooh, makes me nervous, but you know, it'll be fine.
Any, as we get ready to wrap, any closing remarks, babe? Any thoughts on this episode? I think I had another bonus question.
Oh,
I did.
why?
The other bonus question was, do you think it would have changed how we raised y'all if we weren't in ministry? And if so, what are some ways?
So, yeah, I was just making sure I had my all thought out this time. So I said yeah. Well, yeah, not yeah, but I said yes. There we go. Yeah. Sorry. So I think so. Just because I feel like if y'all weren't in ministry, like one of the reasons why I say I'm happy y'all in ministry, where I know that like unlike some not calling people out, unlike some Christians where unlike some Christians where like they don't like follow or not doing it all the way, not giving it 100%. I feel like if y'all weren't in ministry, there'd be a chance that like maybe that would be y'all. Y'all would be like, say y'all Christians, but then not go all the way with it, or just like not like put it like not actually show us how to be a Christian.
So then,
Did you agree with that statement, Charlie?
hold on, wait.
Oh wait, sorry. Go ahead.
So you think that, and that would affect you how?
Well,
Like,
I
you
mean,
didn't finish that thought. I feel like you left it.
Because-
oh my bad. I thought I finished that thought. Well, I mean that would affect me because if y'all are like showing an improper way of being a Christian or just not showing how to be a Christian, how would me, if someone that like is supposed to be learning that from y'all, figure that out? Or let's say y'all were being a Christian but not doing correctly. If I decide in the future I want to give my life to Jesus, and then I have, but
In this hypothetical.
yeah, in this hypothetical, if I said I want to give my life to Jesus, how would I know how to do that properly unless someone told me I'm doing it wrong?
So do you feel like it's because you said? I mean, are you saying that you think that people that you don't see very many people that are not in ministry?
No, I'm just saying.
He's just saying the possibility is there.
Yeah, the possibility is there.
I would say no. Wait, I would say no. Did Ethan say no?
I said yes.
Okay, then I said no. I said the opposite of Ethan. Because I feel like y'all's like principles and rules for us would still be the same, but I definitely think it would change who I am as a person, just because if you weren't in ministry, there's a very likely possibility that I wouldn't be in the role in the church that I am now, and I definitely think just like it would change me, like I would be different. So I don't think that y'all would have parented us different, just like me would be different.
What do you think? Would it be different?
Would we be different? I feel like it's hard to say. I
I
mean,
definitely think in
want to
some areas a
say,
yes.
yeah.
I mean, like for example, like you brought up, and I'm surprised you didn't bring it up again, Ethan.
Oh.
The amount of times we made, like most weekends, you had to go to altar services.
Oh, yeah.
If we were not in ministry, we would have
Yeah.
probably gone to one service, hopefully served at another service. So you probably would not have to be at all the services. We probably would not be the first family always to the church and the last family to always leave.
Yeah.
But and even on the positive side, like you wouldn't be going to conferences and camps
Yeah.
and all that stuff all the time either.
But even like, I mean, if you go down like the whole rabbit hole, like if you weren't in ministry, then I went and I started serving at children's when I was like, I think I was like 7 years old.
Right, and
So,
the
like-
reason is because we were at
Because I was literally just there, and they were like, "Do you want to just like come on, just help us? You learned this 3 times today." So yeah, like, yeah, I definitely think it would have changed who I am. So yeah.
Yeah, so I would say, kind of from the outside looking in, I don't, and I kind of agree almost with everybody here. But I don't know that the morals and the principles of of what y'all believe would change.
Just the X.
And also, I don't believe the example that you've set for them would change. But kind of like what you said, the quantity would change. And I think when that quantity changes, I think there's things that would have been different for them.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like I want to believe our values, views, theology towards family would be the same, because even though I think there's people that think it wouldn't be, we do not typically make decisions as a family on what other people think. We don't really care.
Right.
Whether it's when our kids can date, TV shows, video games, music, we do or don't let our kids listen to because of the situation we're in. Some people think that we give them way too many liberties as the pastor's kids. I know there was people that thought it was crazy that I let my son get earrings as a pastor's kid, even though I have earrings, which made no sense. I don't think that our theological thermometer is set at all because of the position I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say we've never made a decision and thought about how people would perceive it. That would be lying if we said that, but I would say for the most part, no. But I do agree with you. I do think if we weren't in ministry, it would definitely look, like Charlie said, I think that anyone that can get out of their traditional mindset sees how amazing she is at children's ministry and would be crazy not to give her the opportunity. However, I also think that if she did not grow up in ministry where she was around it as a child and knew how it operates, and then we needed someone right after COVID and could step in, I don't think the opportunity would have been there for her to show people that she could succeed at that at a young age. So I think it's yes and a no. I agree.
And I also think that it would have been harder for somebody to come to trust in the level that we have in Charlie, just because of the sheer fact of how we know
Right.
Charlie and all of those things. I think it would be harder to get somebody to trust in that aspect just because of the age.
Well, and I think it even goes into Ethan serves in children's. Now Ethan's serving on the soundboard and tech team.
He tears down every week.
He tears down. I think that
Those those heavy chairs.
a lot of people, because of the stereotype people put on, which is honestly it benefits them, but it's not a smart move. People trust the pastor's kids, even though they're just kids. So
They're still just kids.
Yeah, they're just kids, and so it's benefited them in a positive way, but it's really a facade that they're better at doing sound or better at doing
Right, yeah.
because they're the pastor's kids.
Because of who they are, right.
Yeah.
I mean, I am the best. Just kidding.
So
That's just because you're
Yeah.
good.
Right?
that is just me.
Yeah.
Who can I?
Cool.
Ethan and Charlie, do y'all have any closing thoughts?
What if you were giving advice, not just to yourself, to
To other pastors'
let's say there's
kids.
some other pastors' kids that see this episode and go,
Okay.
what if it's
Charlie's right.
what if it's
I'm very passionate about this topic.
what if it's bad for them, or what if it's what if they're dealing with some of the things that y'all hated about.
So if you're going to deal with some of the things I hated with, as I said before, take advantage of them. Even though you may not enjoy them, you may want to be at home doing other things like playing video games, building Legos, whatever. There's a bunch of things to be doing. I don't know. Take advantage of them, because eventually you may not get that chance anymore.
So kind of like what Ethan said, I know a very hard thing for me was just the things that people say. I think I definitely say this a lot, words hurt. And so people say things to you that maybe it's just out of ignorance, they don't realize what they're saying. But just let it brush off your shoulder. Like, it's not the end of the world. Like, people don't understand that, like, you're just a kid. You're not any different than any other person in this world. Like, you are, like, I'm not any different from any other 15-year-old. Like, I'm just a 15-year-old. But also, like, find the good in it, because I feel like when you harp on the negative, you're only going to find the negative. When you're looking for the negative, that's all you're going to see. And so I feel like when you look for the positive and you, I feel like the term romanticize your life is very popular, and I say it a lot. But, like, find the good things. Like, find, like I always, like, when I get to go on, like, these weekend conferences, like, I love it. And I'm like, you know what? Instead of listening to worship service, I'm going to go sit in the lobby and drink my chai, and I'm going to do my Bible study for Tuesday youth night. And I'm like, you know, just find, like, the good things in it. Like, there's good things if you look for them. Yeah, and just, you know, help other people, because you have a platform that other people don't. And so, like, be that light for other people. Yeah. So I think that's what I would say.
Yep. Got anything, babe? Nothing?
Nothing.
So, well, let me ask this way. If there was parents watching that are in the ministry, do you have any advice?
Me? I thought you were talking about kids. Do I have advice for other parents in the ministry? Yeah, I would just say, I mean, parents in the ministry, but just Christian parents in general, like, I feel like, at least for me, like, it was really hard to let go. It still is hard for me to let go of control. Like, I want to control and manipulate, in a good way, my children's life, especially when it comes to their relationship with Jesus. And I've had to learn that he loves them way more than I could. And so I have to trust in that fact and be willing to let go, stop trying to control everything. Jesus is going to start planting those seeds in their lives and in their hearts if you will show them, live, you do you live your life with Jesus the way you're supposed to. Speak into their lives when you have that opportunity, but don't try to force it down their throat. Like, let Jesus do the planting and the tilling and the growing of those seeds, and you stop trying to make it happen. Yeah.
So I actually, funny enough, when you said that, I just had, like, I was working in kids this week, and I was talking to my older group of kids, and I was telling them, I, like, tell them this quote a lot, but, so, like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, but you can show it how to drink. So, like, I can, you know, show you what you're supposed to do, I can lead you to it, but I can't make you do it, but I can show you how to do it. So I feel like that's, like, definitely important. Like, you can give them the tools that they need, you can, you know, tell them how to do it, you can show them how to do it, you can bring them to the places they need to be brought, but you can't make them do it.
So, actually, so not to get up, because we could go off into a whole nother episode here. But, so talking about parents of, or pastors in ministry of PKs, in the hard times, in the hurt, show it, hide it, be vulnerable, keep it from them, be
So we are
transparent.
we're a pretty transparent
We're
group.
we're transparent.
In all things, not just that.
Yeah,
I do think that there's a level that they don't need to know all of the details.
yeah. I think
There's some things they don't need to know, but not necessarily in a, I don't want to tell you this because.
yeah, I think that you have to monitor your kids, what they can handle, what they can, their hearts, their minds can take in, and help deliver it in a way, like, you don't want to lie to your kids, but at the same time, they might not can take it all.
Yeah.
And so I know for us, when we had an ugly separation from church, we definitely peeled back that onion in layers. At first, it was just, we're leaving. They could tell by the way we were acting that it wasn't good, but we did not divulge any more than that. And as they got older, we were able to process and share more of what they didn't know.
Right.
But also think, I think when you share with your kids, you better be in a place of forgiveness, because if you share hate with your kids, it's going to be double hate on them.
That's what I was gonna say too, because the whole point of being transparent is so that they can watch how you process through hard things. And so if they're watching you process hard things, you better be processing them well.
Right.
Because
Kids do
otherwise,
what
they're gonna watch you process it incorrectly or with hate in your heart or unforgiveness, and so that's the trait they're gonna learn, and that's how they're gonna process when hard things come into their life. And so it's a beautiful opportunity for you to be that example. But if you're not prayed up and doing it correctly, they're gonna mirror that in the way you don't want them to also. So I think it just challenges you to
I mean, I definitely think it's a level that
be better.
the kids don't need to know, can't know, because it's just confidential in general. But when it has to do with our family, we really try to be open and honest with our kids about most of those things.
Yeah, and they don't need names and
No.
Yeah, for sure. Right.
whatever, but
Yeah.
So, I'll say, on a positive note, coming from someone who has been kind of from the outside looking in / on the inside.
I was gonna say, I like how you say from the outside looking in, like you don't know us.
But around for, I don't know, I guess almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
It's been really, really neat. And I really admire you, Dell and Michelle. And this is coming, I mean, Jessica's not here, but I know we both feel this way, but admire y'all in the ways that you've modeled, not only for your kids, but other families and people around you. And it really speaks to who y'all are truly as people. And also for Ethan and Charlie. Like, you guys, I know it hasn't always been easy, and it's probably not easy right now. And there's been hard times and there's been good times. But listen to the things that you're currently telling, you are saying that you would tell younger you, but listen to them as you now, because they apply now. Don't, take advantage of the opportunities that you have currently, and things like that. So thank y'all for seeing the positive, not dwelling on the negative, and not getting caught up in the hurt that come from other people outside of Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing I would add as we wrap up to parents is, one, your kids are not trophies. Do not parade them. I encourage you, I plead with you, do not parade them around like a badge or a trophy. They're your family. And yes, a family is called to ministry, but ultimately that's your job. And they still have the right to be a kid, and they still have a right to make mistakes and to be a child just like any other child. And I would say, do not make decisions about your family because of how your church feels. Make decisions about your family because that's how God would want you to lead your family. And I would tell you to protect your family. I can't say that enough. People can be cruel, and people can want to have expectations on your kids, and your kids and your wife and your husbands need you to stand in that gap for them. There's been plenty of times where people are like, hey, you shouldn't let your kid do this, and I'm like, you let me worry about my kid, and you worry about your kid. I appreciate you coming to me. I'll handle it. But we've really tried to make our home and not ministry. And
it's not mean that they don't see ministry.
yeah, they don't see us doing ministry in our home. They don't. I mean, my office is in here. Literally today, I was on the phone booking a speaking engagement for Wednesday, figuring out traveling plans to go to Amarillo, where 2 of my kids are going with me, and we got to pick up a box in Dallas. Like, all of this was being done today in our home.
We have groups,
We have
Bible studies.
our student ministry meets in our home. our adult community group meets in our home. So and our kids on adult night have to watch kids, so we can have adult groups. So there's multiple aspects that happen in our home. But when we're having, like, we don't make our family time about the church. It's our family time, and we're very intentional in that. And I would just say, like, if your child resents Jesus and ministry because of the way you're doing it, then you probably should stop or figure out how to do it different, or stop doing it until you can figure out how to do it better. Like, your kids should not hate Jesus because of ministry. I'm not saying that there's not times that are hard, and then maybe in those times you need to take a step back and say, we had to do that. 'Cause like I said, we used to have church Saturday night, 3 on Sunday, and my wife just said, this is way too much for our kids. So they started going for a season to one service, and they served in one service, and the other 2 they didn't go to. And I think that that's fair. So this was a really good episode. Please, if you have comments, questions about your own family, other families, about our family, feel free to put them in the comments section. We'd love to answer those the best we can. We thank you for tapping in with us this week, and we can't wait to see you next week as we